Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome. Before I give blatantly obvious proof and evidence for the case of $50 silver, I really want to give you guys a cool new opportunity for this channel. I now have channel memberships. If you want to be a part of the Slayer Elite, click the join button next to the sub button. You'll have access to members only giveaways, custom badges by your name so when you comment on my videos, you'll stick out, members only chat rooms, and I'll even shout you out in my next video. But honestly, watching my videos is more than enough. This is just another way to support me and what I do. But on that note, this is Silver Slayer, and welcome to my channel. Now, I really wanted to bring the reality to life of these prices right now. A lot of people get desensitized. And what I mean by that is they see these high prices and they accept this as the new normal, but forget about where things were last year. So I'm about to show you guys the year to day chart of gold and silver, and it's pretty astonishing. Now, last year, if I would have told you that today on December 5th, silver would be $24, you probably wouldn't have believed me, especially if you were a bear. Now, I say that because last year things weren't really that crazy, especially in the beginning of the year. Things really didn't start popping off until the US-China trade negotiations, and that's what kind of kickstarted this entire whole thing. If you guys remember back then, it was the Hong Kong protests, the US-China trade negotiations ending the year, Saudi Arabia fields, the oil fields getting attacked, right? And that was all the chaos, the controversy, stock market volatility. And then that pandemic happened, and everyone forgot about all that stuff. And now things are much, much different. But if we look at the year-to-date chart, I'm going to prove something even crazier. So here's the year-to-date chart, right? Look at this. As things were pretty much normal, silver was sitting around $17, right? And that was happening for the last couple of years, right? So things were pretty stagnant, right? Things were pretty bearish, to say the least. Not much was happening. There's no real news. You had to have faith, and that's when I was making a lot of my videos, showing why. If you go back to that time frame, most of my videos were showing why silver has so much potential heading forward, because most times people think things are going to stay like this. They forget that the economy is ever changing, the markets are ever changing. So once things started to get crazy, this was the March low of $11, and that's right when this pandemic hit and people were freaking out. Well, not right when it hit, but this is when things started to definitely get affected. People started to liquidate and everything, we know what happened, so on and so forth. But I can't guarantee, I cannot guarantee that things will not show some type of repeat. And what I mean by that is, since we know the pattern, look at the same thing happened with gold, just not the same extent. And look, and then gold even broke through its all-time high. See, when things first kick off, markets are crazy. There's a lot of volatility, a lot of unstable prices because people are unstable. So heading into next year, I think the short term for silver is going to be crazy. It's going to be a roller coaster ride, emotionally and price wise, because people are going to be going through a roller coaster ride of emotions as well. Things aren't going to start stabilizing and really building some ground until later on in the year. And then the end of 2021, that's when I think all these predictions and forecasts are going to come to life. But the short term, things are going to be crazy. So if you are buying, selling, or trading, you're going to have to be on your A game. You're going to have to be on your toes. You got to be, for real, you got to be on your A game, because there's so much risk with so much volatility, especially with silver, since it's such a volatile metal, right? Gold would probably be the safer way to trade or buy or sell, because silver, the price could be something one day, and then the next day it could be a completely different situation. Now we have a great video in line today. A great video. Now, this is going to prove $50 silver, and not only prove it, give a lot of evidence backing it as well. See, I could say that someone could tell me that stocks are going to be, all right, that Apple's going to be X amount of, or go up X amount of percent, or I could tell you that silver's going to be $150 in 3 years, or you could tell me that. But if I asked why, and you don't really give me any reason or valid reasons, then you're not really making a case. You're not really making a point. You gotta look at the reasons why. Why are silver prices expected to go to $50? That's what we're gonna look at. That's the meat and potatoes. So link's gonna be in the description. Let's jump into it. Silver news. Trading with Silver Knightsbridge Live also receive a bonus. So the presidential win by Democrat Joe Biden may usher a new era for government policies, from taxes to trade energy. Indeed, Biden's energy platform and priorities would look very different from Trump's. But the interesting part is, regardless of who won, candidate A, B, C, or D, it was all going to look bullish for silver. Silver is up 35% this year. Here's why it could go even higher next year. And this is kind of what led me to look up the year today and then compare it to last year, or to next year at least. Because if silver's up 35% this year, imagine what it's going to be up next year as things really start to get worse. I mean, the dollar, the elites are already looking for a new currency to replace the dollar. They really are. Junius Maltby made a great video covering that a couple days ago. It's like a 30-minute video. He covers it all, if you don't believe me. Now, when trillions of dollars of stimulus get thrown out, the dollar is probably going to collapse. So last year, if silver is up 35%, from what happened last year, imagine how much it's going to be up next year when real things are happening. And when I say real, I mean much more serious things. U.S.-China trade negotiations, that's peas to a pod compared to something like trillions of dollars in stimulus given out when we don't have that money. So during his campaign, Biden released an ambitious green energy agenda, which, if even partially enacted, could unleash a new uptrend in the silver market. In recent months, Biden called for a carbon pollution-free power sector by 2035. A development like this would require massive acceleration in renewable wind and solar power here in the U.S. If Biden gains traction on goals to stem global warming, silver stands to gain. And why? Silver is a key ingredient used in solar panels. I mean, silver is used in everything. But if Biden's going to really try to get this thing going with the green energy revolution, silver is going to be a major player in the game. Silver is used in photovoltaic cells. It's used in solar panels. So the demand for silver is going to be booming over the next 3-5 years. But even over the next couple decades. Talking about by 2035, and that's just to get started. So, and that's just in the United States. Imagine once the whole entire world starts to try to go green. Silver supply, the production is diminishing. But the demand is going to be exploding. Low supply, high demand shoots the price up. Industrial demand for silver and solar panels is not a new trend. It's been growing in recent years. For example, silver's use in photovoltaics increased by 7% in 2019 and is forecast to continue to move higher as governments turn to renewable energy sources like solar. Yet, an official move toward the wider use of solar power, as imagined in Biden's plan, could cause double silver prices. Peter Thomas, a senior vice president at Chicago-based broker Zaner Group, told Bloomberg earlier this year. Analysts at Bank of America echoed this outlook in a research note. I mean, we have Bank of America, Citibank, Goldman Sachs. We have so many different, very respectable, very recognizable, and accurate sources calling for extremely high silver prices. I mean, even the Silver Institute, the holy grail of information they put out yearly, talking about the statistics, they even called for higher silver prices. They're even bullish, and they never give out. They never give out forecasts because they look at the numbers. They look at just what's happened and to what extent, giving the details. But even they did. So silver has already surged over 60% this year, hitting an August high of $28 an ounce as investors turn to the precious metal as a safe haven. Adding additional industrial demand for larger use of solar panels would catapult silver prices even higher. So not only, you're right, a lot of people are saying the stimulus, but it's not just stimulus. Stimulus is going to kickstart everything, right? If it was stimulus alone, I don't think silver would stay up that high. There would be a large kick up, but I don't think prices would stabilize that high. I think it would be go into a lot of overbought territory. It might stay there for a couple months, right, or maybe even 6 months or so. But then they would probably go back down because stimulus isn't going to last forever. But here's the thing: when stimulus gets thrown out, that's the beginning. Kickstarts silver up, and then as the green energy revolution starts, which is going to keep prices that high over the next couple decades. So it's like the perfect storm. It's like the perfect cocktail. The stars have aligned. So $26.87 an ounce as investors flock to the precious metal as an alternative store of value during this pandemic. An increase in industrial applications of silver, however, would catapult prices higher. So Bank of America says that a green stimulus under Biden presidency could drive silver to $35 an ounce in 2021. And over the medium term, silver could take a run at the $50 an ounce level. See, medium to long term is silver's true potential. If you're investing into silver for the short term, for a year or two, man, you're in this for the wrong reason. And man, I feel bad for you because you're probably not gonna even break even, especially when you bought in. Most people buy in when there's the most hype, and when there's the most hype, that's because the prices are high, right? Everyone usually buys into silver when the prices are exploding. And that's the wrong time to buy. That's when you should be selling. When most people buy, you should sell. And when most people are selling, that's when you should be buying, right? Most people are looking at silver right now. Oh, it's low. It's not doing anything. Don't buy into it. Then they will buy into it when it's like, oh, it's $30 again. I'm going to buy some. It's like, why would you buy it when it's the highest price? But why wouldn't you buy it when it's the cheapest price? That's investing literally backwards. So now we go a little bit into the technical indicators. We're going into the charts, and they're going to show, actually what's happening. So the prices are vulnerable to a correction towards $23. And I'm not mad at that. I know silver's true value. I know by next year, silver's not going to be anywhere near this price. So why wouldn't I want this price right now to get it for cheaper, right? Why? Like, it's so weird how people get scared and get mad when silver's dropping. Like, if silver went down to like $22, people would be mad. It's like, why would you be mad that you can get it for a lot cheaper? Is that because you don't have faith in the prices? That's the only reason, is because that means you don't have faith that over the next year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you don't have faith that silver is going to recover. But if you truly understand silver's real value, then the cheaper it goes, the more happy you're going to be, because you know that it's going to go back up. It's going to recover from that and be a lot higher. Do you honestly think in 5-10 years, silver's still going to be $23? No. There's no way. Imagine how much worse things are going to get. Imagine how much different the world's going to be in 5-10 years. Do you really think silver's still going to be $23? No. And since you know that, then you should have no problem paying any of these prices, and you wouldn't have any problem worrying or freaking out or panic selling if it goes down. So here's some of the candlesticks. A black body occurred because the price closed lower than they opened. During the past 10 bars, there's been 4 white candles and 6 black candles for a net of 2 black candles. See, I don't know what any of this stuff really means. I mean, obviously, like, they explained what it meant, but I just don't know how to read that in the way that I need to. I'm trying to learn charts. I've been saying this in my last couple videos. If you can look at the charts, the patterns in the charts, and then also incorporate that stuff with what's happening in the economy, now I think you can get a pretty accurate, educated guess, a pretty accurate analysis of what's happening. And that's because charts show the patterns, the history, the economy shows what's heading forwards, and they both have beneficial aspects. I don't think looking at one or two or A or B single handedly alone is as accurate if you combine both. And that's why a lot of these articles do, talk about both. They'll have the beginning talking about the economy, and then they'll go into the technical stuff at the end. So I'm trying to learn how to understand both of these, because right now I mean, definitely I know more about just the economical side of things. If you guys do know about charts, or know like a website or some type of course to take where you can, because I know the basic stuff. I know the triangle formations. I know candlesticks. I know resistance, the support levels. The resistance. I know all that stuff, but I really want to get into more of the complex, like Scholastic Oscillator is 89.24 or 26. Like, I want to know all this stuff. And I'm never going to pretend like I know the RSI, relative strength. Like, I know that type of stuff, but I just really want to, and I want to be able to read it by my own. I want to go on, for example, I want to be able to look at a chart, and I want to be the one drawing these lines and explaining, what I view or what I see and where I interpret it to go. So, by the way, the technical outlook is short term is neutral, intermediate term is bearish, long term is bullish. So, by the way, here's another question I have. When are you going to sell? What is your time frame of selling? What does it look like? I'm really curious about that, because mine is around probably 15 years, at least. And since I'm not planning on selling for so long, I'm curious on when I'm going to stop buying, right? Because that's something we don't really think about, right? I mean, sometimes we might think about when we're going to start selling, but do you think about when you're going to stop buying silver? Is there ever going to be a day? I mean, there has to be a day when you stop buying it, because you're not going to buy it until the day you start selling, because you need time for that gap to form. You need time to stop selling, or you need time to stop buying, so then a gap can form and your silver can appreciate. So what does that look like? What is your cutoff price? And I mean by this, like, say I'm not going to pay more than $35 for an ounce of silver, and I'm not going to sell for anything less than $40 or something along those lines. Do you have a safety net number in mind, and what is it? What is your idea of selling your stack look like? And also, when are you stop? What's too high of a price for you to buy for silver? It's an interesting question. Let me know if you guys have an idea in mind, or it would be cool to see everyone's and see how they all relate or don't relate. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Like I said, if you want to join the Slayer Elite, you don't have to. Watching my videos is honestly more than enough. It's another way to support me, right? I mean, I bust my butt making 2-3 videos a day for you guys. I love what I do. I don't do this because I have to. I do this because I want to, because I don't have to. I could easily make one video every couple days and still be fine. But I love talking about precious metals. Right, I love it. I love reading these articles. I love exploring new ideas, new thoughts, and giving you guys content to enjoy. I love that. Right, it's part of my lifestyle now. It's not something like when I go to work, I don't consider this work. This is actually my free time. Right, I mean, I'm a single dad. Like, when I'm in here working, this is my time to myself. And as soon as I get off the computer, then I'm watching my daughter, playing with my daughter, taking care of my daughter. This is my private. This is my little paradise space, is with you guys. So it's really cool how that works out, because I can work from home, be a stay-at-home dad as well. So, anyways, like I said, link to this articles in the description. If you want to join Slayer Elite, it's just another way to support me. I really would appreciate it. I'll shout you out in my next video. And when I do talk about membership only giveaways, I'm also going to do full subscriber giveaways. I'll just do both the same day. So if you are a member, then you will also be entered in 2 giveaways that day, and you'll probably have a pretty high chance of winning in the second giveaway, the members only, because there's definitely not 34,000 people in my members under my members list. So you have a much higher chance of winning if you are a member. So If you want to look at it from an investing standpoint or just a way that because you want to help me, regardless, I would appreciate it. So with that note, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Definitely stay tuned for more videos today. I got some pretty good stuff coming. So thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.